Hello video today. I'll continue to tell you a little. The show took place in Taiwan. Story happened in eastern Taiwan's Inter-County HOA. It's the largest district in Taiwan. The climate here is very pleasant. With a unique natural landscape, it made the flower connected. It has become a tourist area with many places. Famous spots. For example, Kwai Tin Beach as beautiful as Kwai Bat cliff paintings, Taroko Park, and so on. In the Sandan area of Hualien district, people's lives are very peaceful. But one day, a strange smell suddenly appeared. It makes many people feel uncomfortable. After tracing the source of the smell, then a horrible case appeared. Shocked the whole of Taiwan. Mysteries surrounding the case. What's the shock on really? Next, let's go back in time the 9th of August 2006. The 9th of August 2006, it was a Friday. It was late summer and early autumn. The people living in the Lane 2 Years 8 Ho and Sand area. I've discovered something unusual. Many people in the street smell. It's been days. The smell doesn't go away. 19 hours. Some people really do. I can't stand that smell. So I called the police and hope that the police will investigate where the smell is coming from and solve the problem very quickly. It's very crowded in the sand. Sometimes it's hard to avoid conflict between neighbors. The police have also received reports and down to resolve the conflict. As usual, the police thought, in the Lane 2 Years 8 must happen again conflict. So he contacted the village chief to Cinco, together to the lane to check. They also vaguely smelled the stench, of course. That smell is different than the smell from the sewer. So together they looked for the source of the smell. Some people saw the police and the village chief coming. He said that they think that smell came from the house they kept at 25. Because the smell in front of their house was the most intense. There's no one in their house these days. After listening, the police came to the front of their house. They kept knocking and calling inside again and again, but there's no movement. They waited a long time, but there was no response. So the village chief went to the window to look inside to see if there's at home. Although it's dark, but the village chief still saw it. There's some flies flying in the house. It was in that position that he could see the smell. Because there's no in the house for days, they think there's something wrong with their family. So the police planned to force a raid. Enter inside. They tried to open the door without success. Because the iron door they kept was an empty door. The village chief then hired a locksmith to help. After a long struggle, the last door has been opened. It was already dark at that time. When I opened the door, a smell came. Make people stunned. And then there's some flies flying around. It's a bit scary. After entering the house, the village chief and police found no trace. The family on the first floor. And they didn't detect anything unusual. So they continued up the stairs to the second floor. They went to turn on the lights on the second floor and checked around, but didn't find anything. What is unusual? Finally, the group went up to the third floor. Along the way the number of flies increased dramatically. Village school. I fumbled for a while to find the light switch on the third floor. When looking around, then you see a door. Toilets on the third floor. He closed his hand. Pushed the door. Then a stench comes straight to the face. He confirmed that this was the source of the smell. But the door was only half open and didn't move. There's obviously something stuck in the back. He was with the police. Both used the power to push the door to find out the love inside when the door is opened. The sight in front of them terrified them. The bathroom is only about 6 square meters wide. There's 5 people in there. It's all wrapped in a thick cotton blanket. A cloudy liquid. It oozes from the blanket and drips to the floor. Makes countless flies buzzing around. The 5 of them have been dead for a while. And the body is decomposing. It smells so bad. The case is of a serious nature. So they immediately reported it to their superiors. It wasn't long before the criminal police captain got lost. I led Theo a series of police to the scene. They immediately closed the house. 5 bodies were found at the scene on the 3rd floor. They're fully clothed and wrapped in blankets. 3 of them were glued to beige tape. Cover the head with plastic bags. Body wrapped in wires. because it can be haunting. So, I won't describe it here. The identities of the 5 were quickly identified. They are the 5 children of their family. The 18-year-old was the 16th of December 1987. The 17-year-old was born the 15th of November 1988. 15-year-old the 8th of December 1991. 12-year-old the 24th of November 1993. The 9-year-old was the 18th of November 1996. The cause of death was asphyxiation. The first son, Monday and Thursday, no food in the stomach. The police speculated that maybe they were killed before they ate. The time of death was more than 3 days ago. The police quickly began an investigation. The owner of the family needs the 25th of November 1958. Your wife is of the 25th of July 1971. His real name is Lin Gi. They originally lived in Taiwan and then moved to the United States. Very mysterious family, and the days of the weekend, not interacting much with neighbors. The police conducted a search of the house carefully, then discovered the door is locked from the inside. All the windows are closed. Ventilation in the bathroom on the 3rd floor. It's also glued with tape. They speculate that the purpose of the work above is to prevent the smell from escaping. At the toilet door, I found a used tape up there and extracted an incomplete fingerprint. There were 3 cigarette butts in front of the toilet. The brand of the tablet, different from the type that the storage needs or uses. After inspection, saliva on the head. The cigarette doesn't match the DNA of the note. Water body papers, mobile phone holder, and some of the homeowner's and wife's belongings. They're all on the VI cabinet. There was no sign of servitude. No property is lost. So the police ruled out the possibility is by robbery of murder. On the table in the living room on the 1st floor, the police found a blank sheet of paper and a 1,000 yuan with writing on it. It's written on a white paper. The children are being held captive in house number 25. Call the SOS police. On the note with the number 25 lane to year 8 under control. Call the police. According to experts in writing, after comparing, they confirmed the above text belongs to the. Looks like he's signaling for help. According to the survey, the landlord is in a large debt. The police are also worried they'll also be taken by the INSUB, so they put out a missing person search notice. I hope to find both of them as soon as possible. The INSUB's methods are complicated, and those things need to be prepared in advance. So the police speculated that maybe the killer is someone familiar with their family. So they started investigating about the relationships of the host couple. Not long after, the police found the owner of the cigarette in front of the toilet. On the 3rd floor, the DNA sample belongs to Pepper. He's a friend of Liu's. He told police that more than a week ago, he had also been to Liu's house. But he's never been to their house since that day. I told you that day, he came to the detention center to talk. While chatting, he smoked and threw a cigarette in the ashtray in the 1st floor living room. He doesn't know either. Why did that cigarette butt show up on the 3rd floor? The forensics officers then. I also checked the color of the medicine. They're extinguished in different ways, and not at the same time. Maybe the INSUB deliberately put the drug in there to distract. Direction of investigation for spending has provided some evidence. Reliable exception. So his suspicions were dismissed. On September 5th, 3 days before the incident, about 1921, the neighbor saw Lam take out the trash. They find it very strange, because every day, that job will belong to the kids in the house. They've never seen her fall either. Garbage ever. At that time the neighbor also greeted Ms. She just nodded and quietly left. Until the next morning, the neighbor doesn't see their car at home. And also from there, neighbors don't see anyone in their family anymore. You need a total of 3 companies in your name. He comes to the company often to examine business operations. The police went to his company to investigate, let the staff know. On September 4th, 4 days before the incident, I arrived at the company as early as usual and informed the staff that I want to take you to Taipei for surgery. You won't be able to come to the company in a few days. The police then sought information. With your children saved, there is some information as follows. God is the oldest son. You just graduated from high school, and I'm going to medical technology college soon. John paid to learn. It was a summer vacation, and the school hasn't officially started yet. The school said his family has also registered him in the register dormitory of the school last month, but I haven't checked in yet. The second son is God, and the third one is the foot cyclic. I went to see Wave High School. The school said on September 5th. Then the third son is cyclic. Go to school normally. The second son is the new God. He dropped out of school without permission. It's about 7:50 in the morning. The teacher also made a phone call to his house. Miss Lam said, "Your child isn't well and needs to rest at home." But the next day, on September 6, both the second and third children, they didn't go to school. The teacher called me back home to inquire about the situation, but I don't see I picking up. The fourth son is Hualien. I'm a student at San Junior High School, and in Hualien. The fifth son is the Northern God. I am a student at Sandan Primary School. The school teacher said, on September 5th, the fourth child went to school normally, and I'm going to take a leave of absence for my fifth brother. Save clientele. Your brother has a fever. Please allow me to rest at home. The next day, the fourth and fifth children, they didn't go to school. Based on the information above, the kids have lost touch. Get lost at school on September 6th. That's 2 days before it was discovered. The police also found out that 5 nights before losing contact, his third and fourth children are saved. They all have exercise found at the scene. The 2 children are still in uniform. They may have been murdered after school. According to the testimony of the school teacher and neighbors, 5 out of 9 parents are still at home. If anyone wants to mess with the kids, then they certainly won't be indifferent. What confuses the police? There was no trace of the servant in the house. The area where the whole family lives is very densely populated, but no one realized there was something wrong from their homes. In addition, the oldest son saved the God of 18 years old. The second son is also 17 years old. Their basic adult-like appearance is male. With the age of 7, if you break your horns when your life is in danger, they must be able to resist. But there was no sign of resistance in the 2 children. The police speculated that the killer had to use some special methods to make the children helpless before the attack. The 19th of October 2006, a month after the incident, the medical examiner examined the internal organs of the body of all 5 people. It only detects toxic reactions. There's no sleeping pills or sedatives. In addition, they discovered something surprising. That is, the time of death of 5 people is completely different. The first son, Monday and Thursday, died on the same day, and the third and fourth daughters, he died the next day. That's consistent with 5 nights. The third and fourth go to normal school. The other 3 children stayed home from school. We can confirm that the victims were poisoned. So the search for poison, it's become a new direction of police investigation. After 6 checked the family's house saved, the police found a deer vine planted in pots. This is a leopard plant. It is often used to kill insects. The tree is also used by some Aboriginal people to fish. Because it contains the toxic substance rotenone, they'll crush the tree's branches and leaves and mix them into the water. After a while, the fish will be paralyzed. For humans, trees cannot be eaten. When you eat, you will experience symptoms such as nausea, seizures, severe cases will coma, respiratory paralysis, and even death from heart failure. The only part of the plant is the roots. The tree that police found at the scene accidentally lost roots. Maybe Din Sub used tree roots to put the children in a coma. Because of the strong toxicity, it is not easy to buy trees in the market. If we can trace the source, maybe the tree will find the killer. What's unexpected is a deer vine actually lead the investigation of the case in a completely different direction. After the investigation, the police were surprised to learn that I saved that tree from a friend. The police later found his friend. At that point, the editor had to tell him that I have a friend in the East. There's a son who's writing a paper about paralysis at the Institute of Medical Research, and we need to use plants for experiments. The reason sounds reasonable. So the friend who gave Cho just needed a deer vine. Look back at the story. At the time of the incident, she lied to the school. The children are unwell and please rest at home. In addition, the poison made the children unconscious. The husband took it from a friend. Series of actions of their spouses makes the police suspicious. From there the police, they named the children's parents as the top suspects. Near the house Sandan, the police found the car of the mind. After inspection, there are only 2 fingerprints in the car. The police also checked the video monitoring at home DarkChron and nearby area. They found out that they both drove to the DarkChron and go to a convenience store to buy coffee, meat dumplings and other foods. Their expressions are very calm. No suspicious person was found. What about that time period? Watching or controlling both of them. The police went to many supermarkets and shops in the United States and get some surveillance video to check. They found that the tape, pull iron wire, pliers and other items that the player uses, it was all bought by Ms. Lin herself. And the lab also has a new discovery. They've reconstructed the incomplete fingerprint is removed from the tape roll and discovered that that fingerprint belongs to the mind. Every clue points to 2 men are behind the incident. The police still can't believe a couple can do such a cruel thing. However, a proof permitted the police to confirm that the 2 men are the owners of the case. The key evidence is in your office. Mind Need. After searching the company of Mind Need, the police found a digital camera. There are traces of use. The camera's memory card was removed. The photos inside the camera were also removed. The police recovered some of the photos ever stored in the camera through technical means, and the results were mind-boggling. In the photo shows just kneeling in bed, wearing a dark blue shirt and white shorts. Next to him is the 3rd child, legs curled up in bed. I'm just tying up my daughter with a rope. His wife does not appear in the photo. But by restoring the photographer's height, people think that she took those pictures herself. Therefore, the couple became the main suspects in the case. And the police changed their missing persons notice to an order. The notice will expire in 2044. The suspect needs to be 48 years old, claiming to be a national security officer. I flew an F-fighter in the year. However, according to police investigations, he was educated at the industrial school and agriculture Taiwan, and no experience so safe. She has had 3 marriages, and Lin was his 3rd wife. Both of them met because they were the bait in a hotel in hot water. My heart is in love at first sight. The relationship between the 2 of you is quickly growing. The 2nd wife and her husband are still not divorced until you to have a closer relationship. He even took her home. He doesn't listen in front of his wife. He said it was his sister. We ate together for a while. Then the wife knew about it and got a divorce. Immediately after that, my husband and I were married at home. Lin's family secretly said that you need to be unfaithful to your ex-wife and not a trustworthy person. Many times family members also advise, but you still decided to follow my own way. My wife is the youngest in the family. There are 5 brothers and sisters. You have a very good relationship with her 3rd sister, Lam Thukwai, because your family doesn't like it. So after marriage, she also lost contact with her family. I only occasionally contact my 3rd sister. Stop by his wife's family. You need to be very unhappy with them. When the parents of the secret died in a car accident, according to local customs, you just have to get down on your knees before the rescue of his parents. But he refused to do that and said, everyone died at Sao to kneel. And then I listened to the idea of the mind. The couple left the East Coast to live in the United States. Just have a withdrawn personality and don't want to interact with other people. As well as, I don't want others to know about my family's situation. Most of the doors and windows all closed on weekdays. You just have a very strong desire to control. He's even, I don't want my wife to get along with others. The wife listens to her husband. When do people go for a walk together? I want to say hello to my neighbor, but you dare not speak up. When I saw my husband's eyes, Of the 5 children of their families saved, the 3 eldest children are the children of Liu, Trinedes and ex-wife. The 4th son and the 5th was born to the couple. Although there is no relationship, blood with the first 3 children, but Balfi, they are like children and love them very much. He then got involved in the field of photography, and I teamed up with a friend of mine to start a photography and printing company called Magic Family. There are BA branches in Hualien and other places. Provide a dedicated service for tourists. Can print photos for guests on the cup, or keychains as souvenirs in the eyes of outsiders. You just have to have a successful career and a happy family. But this is a fiction. In fact, they're owed a lot of money. They have 17 credit cards and they owe a lot of money. The couple constantly borrowed money from their relatives and friends for reasons that are often, I need money urgently to get into school, or to create a new branch. 3 months before the incident happened, repayment of husband's debt just started being interrupted and overdue. According to the investigation, their debt is 16 million Taiwan dollars. That's equivalent to about 12 billion. A friend of Kai needs to reveal that he once told, if there is no money to pay, 7 of my family could die. A neighbor said, a week before the incident. I should have told them that. Coming soon. There may be a major murder case on this street. Then everyone thought he was joking. But now it seems that his words, it may be haunted. The tragic death of his 5 children. She is the sister of Lam Hai. 11 days before the incident, she got a call from her sister. The tone of the intimate over the phone is very depressing. Her sister is a little heartbroken and just, so, you invited your sister out to talk. But he refused because he was busy with work. From the facts above, the process of the incident was deduced as follows. My wife and I decided to kill the whole family because of the debt, not able to pay and maintain daily life. The wife went to the supermarket and bought pre-adhesive tape, pull rope, and other necessary tools. On September 4th, 4 days before the incident was discovered, the older son, who had not yet given a lecture, remained at home. The couple used poison to make him unconscious. Then, murdered and hid the body in the 3rd floor toilet, to the afternoon. When the 5th child comes home from school and gets ready for dinner, the mother used this to make him unconscious. After the operation is completed, just as well, put him in the bathroom on the 3rd floor. The 2nd son was late for school, but still can't escape bad luck. Couples do the same, and hide it in the toilet. The 3rd and 4th girls escaped. In that day. The next day, September 5th, 2 girls wear school uniforms as usual. The mother told her 4th daughter, school break for the 5th child, and said my brother had a fever. In the afternoon, the 2 girls came home from school. They, as usual. After dinner the couple moved on, work with 2 children in the same way. After the crime is over, Lam Fat Bile, clean up the scene and run outside and take out the trash. He was seen and greeted by a neighbor. You shut up and go home. The couple then drove off in a car. After the police proceed, computer technical examination of mind. Need to discover. He has read articles related to the case of the Hong family in Trong Hoa 2001. This was a very famous case at the time. What's special is that the case also happened on September 4th. The police said that the mine could have learned from that case, since the incident caused the fire to occur. There was a lot of media coverage and the case. It also received unprecedented attention from the public. There's a popular belief in Taiwan that if a person is wrongfully killed, their anger will be heavy. The soul will always be there. After hearing the story of 5 children, house number 25. It has become a ghost house, haunted by terrifying spiritual stories. A pair of nurse sisters who live next door on said, 1 year after the incident, my sister comes home from work in the evening. I saw a little girl standing at my door. She wears a white dress tied with a chicken tail. He was holding the key to the door when his sister stopped him. At that time she said, my house is next door. Sorry, I got the wrong door. And then she left. Only later did she see him. That girl is Hualien, the 4th daughter of the family. After that, The two sisters were afraid to sleep every night, afraid that she would take the key to their house. They moved quickly to another place. About that house, there are also a lot of people who don't know. Should still come in. But no more than 2 months quickly left. A student who lived in the house said, "There's a boy every night. Stand by your bed and say, 'This is my room.'" All the people in the neighborhood were terrified. They even invited wizards to pray for God. For the kids. To March 2008. He was then the head of the police department. To break the superstition, he decided to live in that house for a week. To prove that these supernatural events are just bullshit. A week later, the police officer wasn't harmed. But very soon he became very ill. Many people think it's the haunted house. The police officer later responded that his illness was caused by wounds on his body, not completely cured after the flu vaccine. For many years afterwards, the police also tried to find remains of two couples saved, but there's no trace. The 6th of October 2015, 9 years after it happened. There was a man who came from the mountains and to haunt. That area is about 2 kilometers from the shelter, along a small road up the mountain. Then suddenly, he feels he's stepping on something. I looked down and saw a white object. At first he thought it was a dog bone, but after a bit of digging out of curiosity, then he discovered a pair of shoes. So scared, he called the police. The police then rushed to the scene and unearthed 2 complete skeletons. There are also shoes, clothes, insecticide cans, and so on. The date of manufacture is 2006. After the forensic examination, it is confirmed that the bones are of a man and a woman, and no wounds were found on the bones. The cause of death, it's believed to be due to pesticide poisoning. Time of death was more than 9 years. Most of the evidence was found at the scene are rusted or corroded, but a pair of gold-rimmed glasses was found. They're very similar to the glasses that the mine needs to wear years ago. After comparing DNA, both have been identified as a married couple. Save the Need and Lamb on Honey. To the 9th of November 2015 District Attorney's Office. To suspects in the case of 5 children, it was confirmed as deceased. So the case is officially closed and will not prosecute further. Many people later took a different view. They think that the case was not made by the couple. Because if they do that, there's no need to go back to the children, and there's no need to leave unnecessary messages. Except they don't have to give up their lives in such a remote location. So far the answer to the above. They were buried forever, according to 7 members of their family. Although the case has been declared closed during the proceedings. But in the end, we don't know the reason either. Why the 2 of them? Back to my 5 children. That leaves the case unclear. Today's episode ends here. I'll see you in the next case. Hello.